Next up, let's face it. So this is our segment where we talk about people in the news. Generally, a lot of it's football related during football season. Because let's be honest, you put on ESPN right now, I don't care what other sport is on, you're talking about football 90% of the time, right? And so are we.
We love football.
We love football.
We love sports, but we love football just a little bit more than all the other sports.
Probably 10 times as much. But
try to be even and fair here.
I mean, how about badminton? Women's badminton?
Okay, no offense, but I'm not talking about any women's sports. I'm
Uh-oh.
specifically.
Uh-oh.
I'm one of those. Sorry, ladies.
That's right. All right. Well,
Moving on.
Moving on in negative news.
Yes. All right.
Top left, Mike Leach, Mississippi State head coach, 60 years old, heart attack, went to the hospital, died shortly after. So it's pretty sad. If anybody's following college football, this guy was a character. He was always in his post game press conferences, pre game stuff. Just his little gems of wisdom were very entertaining. And it also sucks. Just reading about this, within days of his death, you got Georgia Bulldogs coaches and stuff trying to go poach the recruits that were supposed to be going to Mississippi State.
The Georgia Bulldogs, they're like on top of the world. Who do they need recruited?
SEC.
I'd be offended as they're on their team. Like, we are crushing it. We don't need to bring anybody else on. That's offensive.
Just goes to show you how competitive this stuff is, right? I mean, it's pretty insane that they're going to go, hey, this is our opportunity now? Terrible. So, R.I.P. Mike Leach. You lived a short one, but a good one in the football world.
Hopefully they'll be saying that about us.
Yeah.
Definitely going to go with the short one part.
All right. How about your boy?
Cole Beasley. Well, we thought he retired, but, you can't stay away from the game, as we've seen multiple times.
No, yeah. He was
this year only.
Didn't he sign somewhere this year before, like Cowboys
he
or something?
Did. He signed to their practice squad, and he, did one thing and then left and said, I'm retiring. It was a decision for his family, he said.
Yeah, that's weird.
I need to make... But I have a feeling he just clearly didn't just like it there. I mean, he did come from Cowboys, so I'm not sure what he didn't like. But anyways, Cole Beasley has been recently signed to the Buffalo Bills practice squad with the intention, most likely, of moving him up, I assume, for this weekend off the practice squad. Welcome back, Cole Beasley. I was a big fan. Yeah, he quieted down once he broke his leg, I believe it was, while he was playing, and he kept playing on it. So we were all a big fan, but obviously he couldn't make it that much longer after hurting himself.
Yeah, he was a big part of the Buffalo offense before some of those other guys started to break out, where it was Gabe Davis, you had McKenzie and stuff, and all of a sudden he kind of got pushed out a little bit.
McKenzie kind of pushed him out, to be honest with you. McKenzie was just a punt returner, and then all of a sudden he's taking over for Cole.
But Cole Beasley's like that safe set of hands on third down, and look, I watched him a lot through his career, especially at the Bills, having to watch the Bills every week.
Oh, shut up.
And he should be a good addition, right? To get out there, especially if you're going for multiple receiver sets. So he's back.
Welcome back, Cole Beasley. I like how he's my person to talk about, and you took half of the time. So Go ahead, let's move on to your next person.
I see these gorgeous locks that he has and that facial hair, and I have to talk about him.
Well, that's because he doesn't have his smile with his missing front tooth.
True.
Kind of takes away from the whole look.
Next person, Mike White, is the opposite. No facial hair, no gorgeous locks. He's keeping it high and tight like he's in the military. And last week he got murdered. Just bent over 3 times, hitting his chest, hitting the ribs, and went down. But I tell you, man, the guy's a resilient guy. He said he went back to the locker room. They x-rayed him up, did what they had to do. He said as long as there was nothing on there to show he had broken stuff, he said you'd have to peel me off the turf. He knew he was going back out there. So shout out to Mike White, being a tough guy. You've played pretty well. Too bad when you were out for a couple series. Joe Flacco fumbles immediately, and then Michael Carter fumbles later on. The 2 turnovers come. So anyway, I don't have a rant this week because we lost. So I'll move on.
Move on. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Baker Mayfield, to everyone's dismay. I mean, if you didn't watch it,
wow,
it's hard to believe. If you didn't watch the game, it was hard to believe while we were watching the game. He came out, he had flown in maybe 24 hours prior to the game starting because he was just signed 2 days prior to the first game starting on Thursday, Monday Night Football, right? Yes, Monday Night Football.
No, it was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Yeah, he got signed late Monday, on a plane on Tuesday, and then on Thursday he played.
Thursday. We didn't think he was going to play at all. We're like, there's no way. right on the field, and he crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. Demolished everybody, and I don't know. Props to Baker Mayfield. I mean, we lost our bet because we were also like, oh, who's gonna do it? You're definitely not putting Baker Mayfield in there, and if you are, he's not gonna know what the hell to do. So probably gonna be the third string quarterback, and we lost our money. But you know what? Rightfully so. It was very fun to watch Baker crush it after such a crazy introduction to SoFi Field. So good job.
And the one thing is that we said lost a bet. We said last week it was -6, and then it moved to -6.5, and we still took the Raiders -6.5. Mm-hmm. So by the time that drive went off, we knew that basically we lost it, because if the Rams went down and scored, or they didn't score, it was only going to be a 6-point thing, so we would have lost. So we said, you know what? Good. Let Baker go down and drive down, because we already lost the bet. And sure enough, 98-yard drive with 2 minutes left. So good for him. All right. Marcus Mariota. So, I mean, the Falcons haven't been doing that bad. I forget what they have, 5 wins or so. I think they still statistically could be in the playoffs. And coach decided that they're going to give the young guy a shot, Desmond Ridder. So they made this decision, and Mariota had been dealing with a little bit of a knee issue. And I guess as soon as they told him, look, we're going to go with the young gun for now, he said, okay, fine. I'm going to go get my knee cleaned up and get the surgery on my knee so I'm healthy for next year or whatever. So they put him on injury reserve. So that means he's out for whatever, at least 4 weeks or whatever it is. So I'm sure that means the season's done for him. And then not only is it done for him, he hasn't been showing up to the facilities and stuff. So you got a veteran guy who could clearly help out your young guy. I was looking at his contract. He does have another year on his contract. It's almost like he's saying, fuck it, I'm done with the Falcons. I'm not going to be here anymore. So definitely something to pay attention to going forward. A little off-season
little drama. Drama going on.
Save the drama for your baby mama.
And then we've got Kyler Murray. Cardinals are just garbage. I mean, they were struggling, but this poor guy, he finally came back. I mean, he hadn't been playing that long since his last injury, and not even in the first play, he gets demolished and has already has a crazy injury that he's out for, I think it's the entire season.
Yeah, torn ACL. So they're saying that if you give him 10 months, he still won't be back for the beginning of next season.
Yeah, it's like October is like the earliest he'll come back for next season.
Tough one.
I mean, listen, his team isn't really gelling with him to begin with. So, but if you watch that game, players were falling all over. First it was Kyler, but then it was one after the other, just tumbling. So the Cardinals is beat up. I mean, statistically, also where they stand versus other teams, but physically, literally beat up. So
they were talking about it.
He talks so much.
Tore his ACL, and they said like it was on grass. And normally you think about, oh, everybody's complaining. They tear their ACL, it's on a turf field or whatever it is. And I just heard Roger Goodell, because they had an NFL meeting before, and he was asked about that. He said, are you going to build some consistency with the turf fields and stuff? He said, actually, if you look at it, the injuries are even between grass and turf. But he said on turf there are more ACL tears, but on grass there's way more ankle injuries and stuff. So he said that they have to balance like what injury they're willing to be good with. Like you're kind of fucked either way.
Seems like your feet get stuck on turf more, so that's what the snap is about. Whereas like on grass, it's just uneven, so you'll get out of it quick. Where you're not going to snap something, but you'll roll, break,
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to figure this shit out. Like, you think in 50 years they're going to, like, here's the perfect surface, we got it? Like,
in 50 years, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we still won't have flying cars in 50 years, but they'll figure that out.
Right. No more. The Jetsons said it was going to happen in fucking, I don't know when the Jetsons was supposed to be, but pretty sure it was now.
For those of you that know, I was a teacher and used to do all the science fiction things. I won't even get into it because people in the 1950s thought we were going to be way further than we were.
Yeah. Well, so much for, artificial intelligence, this and that. Next, we have one car with a bunch of different cameras on it, and it's hitting things. So come on, guys, get your shit together. Elon Musk, I'm calling you out. Get your shit together.
We're all dumb. That's all it is. We're all dumb.
We're all dumb.